a galamsey who common yebedin yebisa question say. Adan na galamsey no yentimi nyai. Say Ghana panyufo person mo kire yen say. Omo nim enkrofo omo ye galamsey no. Ba minum ye no ye hu say galamsey na ekoso. Esensuo sensase. Enti mimi Yaa Titi ametie ya asem preduasa. Many access to Ghana military. Many access to Ghana police. Many access to Ghana national security. All the security agencies I want Ghana ha. Mimi jira hey, many access. In fact, many to me be a met me from police in impo. I catch ni so me odamo. Galamsey kwaso wa hamun kwachi ni pakura wu mamai. Omo word na yo musuma ye no ordinary Ghanaian. Na me nya ordinary Ghanaian. Enti wo so ka kire wo say wonya ordinary Ghanaian. Me mo fa target and to so. That's the reason why they keep on disrespecting us. Yankosha timer, His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, appointed professor from Appointing. Emena akwasa ministry ho. No akwa ho no. Alcoholics esemo akafa no. We awunim. Me pese ye tie me di gina so aka asem. Producer video na ready ayonko.
The next person I'm going to introduce to you is one of the senior figures in our country, a man of high achievement, huge international reputation, and who's coming into politics, and he has been the last few years, because he believes strongly that Ghana cannot develop properly if people like him sit on the sidelines when important decisions are being made about the future of our country. You can't go into the CV of such a man. It goes on and on and on and on. Professor, you have to come and stand beside me. You all know him. He's a world-famous doctor, the founder of the cardiology department at Kolebu. He run Kolebu. He's also at the same time an industrialist, a technologist, somebody very much a hands-on person who believes in working with his hands and has a lot of very, very positive and creative ideas about how we can bring science and technology and innovation to the development of our society, to the development of our educational system, to the development of our industries and enterprises. In the same token, of course, the protection of our environment is now a matter of great urgency. We can't continue to watch the degradation of our lands and forests that we have witnessed in these last 10, 15 years and hope to be able to bequeath to the next generation a safe and workable Ghana. So I've invited Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng to come and take on this onerous task as Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. And I have no doubt that 4 years in this office, especially if the money people in our party, in our government, are able to provide him with the relevant resources, we'll see a radical transformation of many of the ways in which we're doing things in Ghana, all for the betterment of our country and for its progress. So he's a man who has been honored by everybody in the world, locally and internationally. He's this man who has come and help my government and the people of Ghana move forward. I think that it's one of the best choices I could have made. Professor. Yeah. We're trying to construct a government of people who are doers, not so much talkers, but doers. People who have a track records of achievement and competence in their various areas. The next person I'm introducing to you is a man who has developed well-known special.
So that's His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo 6 years ago. One and someone kafa Professor Frimpong Boateng ho. O say, wo kwa wiase nyina papa no omudi obuo ene ani die ma no. Esansa oya panyi ba ko doctor ni ba ko a odi ka ya akoma ho operation a oya Ghana ni e wo Ghana ha. Eti wiase nyina de obuo ne ani die ma no because of integrity. Another Chenya or say ministry no ade na ekono environment, science, technology and innovation enyama 9 ene akabo mu ye ne baako ene de Professor Frimpong Boateng ko ho wo wi niam a o ma panyi kafa prof ho a e kire say sa manu aginidi afetie brofo baako sankai o say se ne ye kwaye no degradation yes sai kwaye no Awani swadi uru say Professor Frimpong Boateng ba sa niam na ekoso wo ye kwaye ni mu nyina no etuo betwa wey aye 6 years ago and I no me nyina be kwone boko se be ya asem na meka no beti ase proper eti wo ma panyi na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ete ho no onim say galamsey ekoso wo Ghana to the point to akasa on the presidency battle on the line so when timia fight galamsey a nessa so be si fomo se no be ye dan yo but you catch Ghana for ne say or the man panyin dibra no abato so na wa hye Ghana for bo say galamsey no obetu ase now listen to asamba ko man panyin kai o say wo your swa for minister na wona ban mu na wa dwen kira wo say ono na mammo na wo bebu mu na wo be pasika ya hu ye dia ene obetra wo say emem kura menya mem kwa private sector esan say what de obetimi akoye de opesa wo ye na wo de anya sika na ono na mammo de corruption adwuma ehonte se wo de benya sika nya de a wo benya bi wo eti afa de eye den ena ne abai peso aka kire Ghana for say onim enkrofo mo ye galamsey wo kuronim. And you see they end up arresting innocent guys no mo won kuran keto mo ni adwumaye no amo sere no makwa chichichichi sa boys no ma sheda do ma be go prison no ma ka kire Ghana for so ya chi nipa 20 ya chi nipa 30 no mo ya galamsey ya jeni omo and we are happy. Meanwhile sani pana ukwachi ni wa menam no ono oni sa sika no ne bekwa akoto concession no oni sika ye de to excavator oni sika ye de to chamfan enti problem na kasa na da ho no abai na hira kwasi ya nchen en waso asem na ensafa en wase me ko galamsey enti di abai ye ne say Ghana maburo mu ni adwuma ya out of frustration akwafo akwaje concession eye galamsey ya wamso akwo bi ekoye bi no ni akwacheche sa boys ni nyina ni odomako akwogu prison yes ye fight galamsey. Meanwhile nipa no eye financier a oda viet mu ankra ha no ma helicopter ekwa site won kofa gold no sa nipa no ye jano ho oda so ni na mo ye nche no every say we are fighting galamsey. Are we jokers? Are we jokers? Enti atoda bia ensema Ghana panyimfo aka no eno ani agira so ne adi bi so am question o etu obi chencha no the assembly politics aya na me kura me asa enu kwasem wasi me time wo ho time na do e ka che Ghana for say on the presidency battle on the line no me na me question ni mu ma ne kai e bia wadwe be say me ka asema she na no producer let the video roll.
The issue that has brought all of us here together is for the future of our country. We've gone through some difficult times in Ghana in the last few years and longer, and it has meant that a lot of people have had to find a way to keep body and soul together. So it's got people involved in all kinds of activities. And I can understand it, that the first duty of any man, any woman is to provide for their family. And you do it with the best means you can. But we have also to recognize that difficult as things have been and the looking for employment and stuff, there are things that we just cannot allow to happen. And one of them is the heritage, the inheritance that our fathers and our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers bequeathed to us, especially the space, the Ghanaian space, which we all occupy. We have a duty to preserve it for those who are coming after us. And if our river bodies are drying up, our landscape is being desecrated, we here, leaders of our society, leaders of our nation, political leaders, traditional rulers, religious leaders, we have a responsibility to say no. This, we cannot allow it to go on for our own common survival and the survival of those who are to come. We can't, if we allow it, we are jeopardizing our own future. The cabinet, when we decided the time had come for us to put the weight of government behind the decision to try and stop illegal mining in galamsey, we composed a cabinet of very responsible Ghanaians, headed by a very renowned, eminent figure in our country, Professor Onua. And they are the ones who then designed a program for us of what we needed to do to try and arrest the menace and preserve our heritage. In the course of it, Professor Onua goes on to a meeting, a conference in Abidjan, and there the Ivorian leaders tell him, you people are not helping us. This illegal mining that is taking place in Ghana is beginning to affect us, our water bodies and our space in Cote d'Ivoire. Rivers, waters, even forests, they don't know national boundaries. They run across nations. And there he was, very embarrassed, very apologetic that the activities of Ghanaians is jeopardizing the space of a fellow and neighbor country in our region. That's how serious the matter is. Rivers that have been with us for centuries are drying up. Forest areas which we should preserve for the sanctity of our life and our environment being devastated by this phenomenon of galamsey. And all kinds of people from all aspects of our national life are involved in this exercise. Security personnel, political leaders, businessmen, and dare say it, Nananum. Some are all involved in this. So we sat down, we said to ourselves, we have a responsibility. When you take the oath that you are sworn to protect the integrity of the nation, Ghana. You sworn to uphold its constitution. You swear to uphold its sovereignty.
That is that the care of the nation, what's in it, its people, its resources, its nature have been put in your care temporarily as a trustee. Like Nananum are trustees of the lands on which they occupy for their people. So you are too at the national level a trustee of the lands and the resources of our nation. So you ask yourself, how best can you discharge this trust? You sit back and say, well, all these young men don't have anything to do, so let it go on. At least it's better that they're earning something than they should be at home and perhaps causing other kinds of problems. When you know that the activities that they're involved in are jeopardizing the very survival of our nation. I took the decision that that would be a betrayal of the trust that the Ghanaian people put in me on the 7th of January this year. And as a result, we established this committee within the government to design a policy for us, not just to stop it, to reclaim the land, to let our rivers work again, but also to see how we can figure a way for all these able-bodied young men who are involved in this activity to find an alternative livelihood. So it's a package. It's a package that we have designed to try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps it's the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. To try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps it's the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, then I'll not get it again. And I'll say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. Do you do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do. Fortunately for me, in this fight, I have great allies. First of all, within my government. The people who are in the front line of that, all of them are here. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. The Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation. Eminent Ghanaians, responsible Ghanaians, who have gone out of their way to lead this crusade. But from the beginning, they said something which is the reason why you are here today. We cannot win this fight without the support of the traditional authorities of our country. Any serious social mobilization of Ghana since time immemorial, if you're not involved, it doesn't happen. If you, the chiefs of our country, are not involved, it doesn't happen. So the reason why you've been brought here today is for us to have the opportunity to share with you our thoughts, our strategy, our thinking, and then to ask of you, in the name of the generations yet unborn, for your support and active involvement to bring this menace of galamsey to an end. We're doing it not just for ourselves, we're doing it for the ones who are coming after us. And I have great confidence in the Ghanaian people and their leaders, especially their traditional leaders. They've always stood up at these critical moments in our history. When the white people wanted to take our lands, it was you who got up with the advocacy of Mensa Saba to say, no, here the lands belong to the chiefs and custodian for their people, not for some imperialist invader. When the time came for us to say we had enough of British rule in our country, it was you who also stood up along the political leaders and brought it to an end. So the Ghanaian people are counting on you. They are counting on you to put your shoulders to the wheel. Yes, those who are involved may be losing a little bit of money. God is on all our sides and He will provide for us. I'm not going to. But this is the time for all of us to say we have to do something which is right for ourselves and for our future. I have absolutely no doubt about it that if there is one right thing to do in Ghana today, it is the mobilization to stop the phenomenon known as galamsey. It is the right thing for us to do. And I've come here to ask, to plead for your support in this fight. And to say to you, I'm fully committed. But I know that my commitment is not enough. I need your commitment as well.
Etu oma penyin na na dodan kwa kufado we ma sheda na ne kasa no ewa. Ba ma sheda ne maboni nyina kire osebe ya wo be hu oma penyin a ye ne ni di nkomo no. Oma penyin be wie no. Oso wo yame no mienu ye support to fight galamsey. It is support na na oka ho asem no. Ya de ma no in return ye ne nyai. It says media houses bebre wa Ghana ha adia chibia no mo ka galamsey ho asem. Adia chibia no mo ka galamsey ho asem. Say no ma panyi onim krofo mo ya galamsey no. Etu ababo nte be ka kire say ye yamwa no tu galamsey ase a. Ono mo kwase dem asem mo nkwa ye meba mo ho ban. Mo nkwa ye me because sanye sa amapanyi aya commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces enra na me kasa is just a phone call away and galamsey will stop. Eti nsuo na wo hwe no akasa ne nsuo na ya de namu no sa galamsey no ejaya ade na le epokura ada ne galamsey site apunio we ya river cobra ene epo no ehia no so ho na wo hwe no me akasa me kwasi nsuo no mu na me kohwe bi ena me twa video godwe mu kosi mu ene captain o mu ko twa video ye nyina ko twa bi because na ya mpase ya de ya no keke ebe ka kire wo say galamsey sensuo amane epokura say ya de ya no keke ebe ka wo nyini eti evidence base ene ya de akire no akasa odi the presidency to on the line no 6 years ago afena galamsey no ye tu ne kase afena galano ye tu ama forest nyina ye tu galamsey wo ho ama payika se wonya Ghana fo eni nananom nyina amwa no ye nti krom ha ya ena asante hene otumfo osetutu otosumienu eka kire ye say abugina po eni ayi osemesa o Simon osemesa asante regional minister omukwa oso omoni otumfo akwakoye meeting a omumo matwro lete efri ha ene kwama otumfo se eno na onkan such a disrespect because galamsey no obia person obi beka ho asem asem no too for kan or too for say ye wo ha yi emu 30% e involving galamsey yay Osu ye nyina ye ni mo ya galamsey no o kan na abugina pot ho last natural resources minister not ho see what say mensa not ho ana o ka kira mo sa munya muti hayi muti hayi mu aka sa munnim enipa mo ye galamsey no na ka je sa ohin kase ati so otumfo na abugina pon ne nkrofo ofrinka ya tro letter kwa akomo otumfo se eno no wonka ese so mu suro se ansha no otumfo akwa kika nsem ye be pa mo hontoma so ganafo galamsey na ya ka ne de minimara because be say kwa asema mabre Professor Frempo Boateng na kasa no mapanyima ne akolosi say papa no wonim dia adwuma obaye ogini di ene papa nanu masem okaye no eson say ekotia nkrofo bi ebo party nim no yese enye no kore meanwhile time no profo eka aban no ho no oka asem bia ne yese no kore and you see efo ba bi kwa no me blame Professor Frempo Boateng o time no one ministry ho no me ka sem chofo ko bisa no kosa eno bisa ne say galamsey fight no wo hwe a mako be sen oso yako anya we kra no yako be 70 to 80%. Hey bravo sa tam ni nyina na excavators atu nam wiem ehyehyam krofo dem hyehyam krofo pass excavator se de sitie etimi tu na nam wiem ayira wonam ayi yakane say aviation adenta wonu mko asalibotwa korea excavators ya pakegu ho ya pakegu ama sai arena ache nyansa bro nyansa asunie ya wiani akotwa jadi atu excavator ba ko bi mu obaabi yes ye ya kwa site bia ya share excavator na banya fa mimi ni usika ya taxes na ke betimi dia ya wo kwan no yes ya ni kwaku galamsey nti ni ade asoja fo na muram ni westiska so ye westiska no to protect and conform gusu ya galamsey yatina ya omaka sa contaminants and investigations obi anya report if you OSP na special prosecutor dey am run na no crime mama onu ofa asem ososo wo OSP ososo asem no te say ye de banku asi akora ni mo de nsa wo mu no sa na OSP oya nsem e Ghana ha ofa contaminants asem say omakwa wura forest bi mu wa samra boy abra last commission say wan ma wa mu authorization you know yes ye investigation because ama panyi be kla omo so omo nya ntu galamsey sa investigation akwesi sen yey ya ntra ma kwenta ma se ne samata se fa ko buani antututuo ye nyina ya wodu wa Ghana ha only the name of galamsey kroya o at the end of the day special prosecutor entimi my year report e was investigations no so the about the me na me hu yo it is our case ni da ho ayi gode elemele DC yi na ya fransan bonzo se hwan anade sa na ndini bonzo ke o se hwan ni excavator na enwo ba asem a ya chi wonu amutu mu se kwakochi excavator no excavator na wai ya so ba ko na si assembly mu ho as excavator na ehwan dia ye se excavator no esi police fo ho ye nim ni pa ko excavator ne ya ne dia enso excavator no se menya sama na de ba Ghana ha o enipa is galamsey basa ukokronum ade papa bia ne kronum eso ma sensuo ne sase wo krom ho nyina that is my pain because at the end of the day e kamo sensuo sensase no kra no anya hwen kamo nya kwan papa munya na ensuo no kwa ya from be potable water say because ye kwatubo ho kra na ensuo na atire na from no say kom ekwanya no adwuma no galamsey no amoyo amode se kuro no kra no kuro mafo no kra nya bi nye ya fa nkofo free baabi no makwakoye etiba Ghana for say your ma panyina na do dan kwakufa do na kasa gya to me say mercy no ade yakom no ade se ato ababa nipa foforo onu akasa say wakwasi o ontimi mwaye kwan bia so biem enti galamsey no me ka kirawo waye ya akai eya hwe mfichire ho wan we ya wote dem no ma bayi wa pie say aha ye concession yaje ye betu gala ehwo na obehu Ghana for ye tenkra ne kuba say anim say no ano no ni atwani ye cheap politics me no bia ni nyina ye be kan attorney general report no na wo kan report ni wi a and abewu say Ghana no e nipa bi dia you claim to be a citizen you are not part of it you are not part ha Ghana na ya kwa bi dia o wo dia wo tim na wo ya nkoto djuma na wo tuatas enyo dia stop boasting beating your chest. I'm a citizen of Ghana ya say ya kwa betu kwan because Ghana no just a day say kwa no be ni ye adding because omo di animo no eye selfish omo greedy eye wicked empanyofo no omo di anim no nya ready say ya ba bua makro na ye yie omo di omo dwe ho yomafu ombotom omo yire omo ma won ka ho eti wo wasase no si ya be sai na ma abusuako bia ye yie a eno no mo hwehwe o say wo be den na be ye wo say den na be nobody cares. Yakai Attorney General report no where your Professor Frimpong Boateng na say mo ade call chief of staff ho no e ho report e na aba no eti nia wasuru ni nyina de no evidence given to police to back allegations in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. Attorney General say Professor Frimpong Boateng refuses to cooperate with police on allegations in his report. Attorney General's advice to police. Obi was say bare allegations in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report not sufficient for prosecution. Attorney General's advice to the police. Make the first two paragraphs no. Me we am jampia ko asia ho the next page no. Eti yankai first two paragraphs. Or say the office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice has concluded its review on a docket submitted by the police on the allegations contained in a 36-page document written and signed by Professor Frimpong Boateng entitled Report on the Work of Interministerial Committee and you try to short no. So far and the way forward. The Attorney General advice dated 12 September 2023 and delivered to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service on 14 September 2023 was signed by a Chief State Attorney, Mrs. Evelyn Kilson, of the Prosecutions Division of the Office of the Attorney General. After young kind background no kakrebi na after young conclusion side wo beti ase in the advice to the CID, the Chief State Attorney notes that on 2nd March 2023, Professor Frimpong Boateng, a former Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and a former chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, was a guest on Ghana Broadcasting Corporation television program Legends of Our Time. On that program, he alleged that some government officials and private citizens were involved in illegal activities, quote unquote, galamsey. When the attention of the police was drawn to the said allegations, they wrote to Professor Frimpong Boateng on 20th March 2023 and requested his assistance in connection with investigations into the alleged involvement of government officials in galamsey. On 21st March 2023, the police visited the professor at his residence to elicit further information with respect to the allegations. At this meeting, The professor did not name any government official involved in illegal mining activities. However, he submitted a number of documents to the police. Notable among the documents was the 36-page report presented by him to the chief of staff. Yanko. Pacho Yanko Sro. Persons cited in the report as being involved in illegal mining activities were Lord Comey, Charles Teko Tagu, Frank Asiedu Bequin, aka Protozwa, Honorable Joseph Albert Kwam, Charles Owusu, Kwajo Owusu Efriye, Captain retired Edmond Kwajo Koda, Donald Enchia, and an unnamed former member of parliament for Wasa East constituency. 3 individuals, Setmante, John Oforiata, and Ekwawawusi, were alleged to be involved in the sale of excavators, while Gabi Asarwachredako, Honorable Kwajo Ponkroma, and Kwajo Baku Jr. are said to have done acts which directly or indirectly inhabited the professor in his fight against illegal mining. Process of investigations and findings. The Attorney General's advice to the CID set out the various allegations made by Professor Frimpong Boateng against each of the named persons and records that the police interviewed and took statements from the persons cited in the allegations contained in the reports. The advice notes that all the individuals named in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report denied the various allegations made against them in the report. However, several attempts by the police to obtain further information from Professor Frimpong Boateng to substantiate the allegations in the report and assist them to conduct further investigations proved futile. The professor refused to provide any further information to the police. He also declined to give a written statement, claiming his report is an embodiment of his statement and all the information he has on the allegations. The Chief State Attorney, Mrs. Kelson, stated. The Attorney General stated further that investigations by the police have not revealed any evidence in support of the allegations. The allegations are therefore bare and do not provide a basis for any criminal charge against the persons cited in the report, the advice stated. Enti yanko down ho, yanko recommendation ho. I see our recommendation no last paragraph. Mo me da se brafom kaka. The Attorney General's advice concludes that in the absence of any evidence on the docket in support of any of the allegations of illegal mining activities, we are unable to recommend the prosecution of any of the persons cited in the report. They should therefore be discharged. Underline the word discharge. They should therefore be discharged. We, however, await the outcome of the investigations conducted in some cases involving Setmante, John Oforiata, and Eko Ewisi. Report na eniye. Enyame na make chirechirem aka bibia sure report no ni ti ne kon ne nan nyina ne say Professor Frimpong Boateng report no de koye no. According to Attorney General no, adansidie biye ni ho. Chese enkrofo obo omudin wo mu se omo ye involved in galamsey no. O metimi a prosecute omo. Yentimi for omo nko court. Yentimi bo omo kwadu bia. And for that matter, acquit and discharge. Yenya womo. Aka nipa miensa Setmante Eko Ewisi ene baako ka ho. Omo na say ye twen. Omo so kra no enye me nwanwa. Si e be clear womo.